This week on GeekDown, 3D is taking the world by storm, first invading movie theaters and now moving to the gaming sphere with Nintendo's 3DS. But is this entertainment's final frontier or a flickering fad? Our guest Jess V tells us if she's buying in on the 3D craze as we debate the potential of 3D gaming. And this isn't the first time that 3D has gained popularity, but is it more than just a gimmick to grab your hard-earned cash? Our second guest Travis gives his professional opinion. All this and more on GeekDown.
Just to introduce a little bit of information about 3D, I put together a little thingy thing. Just check it out.
3D, jumping out of the screen and taking the American cinema by storm in the 1950s with its red and blue anaglyph-style imagery, is back in full polarized color and looking as if it is here to stay. And though box office numbers show promise, not everyone is ready to accept 3D as the wave of the future. Some are writing it off as a reverberation of a fad that will only fade again. But the craze is going strong and only seems to gain momentum as it enters the realm of our video games and 3D movies continue to flood our theaters. Could this be a case of the flame violently flickering before it goes out again? Or is 3D here to stay as the best thing to happen to entertainment visually since color?
So let's jump right into it. The 3DS is coming out. 3D is big in movies, but the Nintendo 3DS is coming out and it's claiming no glasses, 3D, 2 hours of battery life. I mean,
3 to 5 to be exact.
No
3
glasses?
to 5.
45 minutes of battery life. So, I mean, how do we feel about this? I mean, how do we feel about this as gamers? I mean, it's all in the movies, and you're paying a lot of money for these films in 3D. Do you feel like it moving into video games is a good thing?
Well, it sounds like 3D is like, hey, it's working in one spot. Let's put it somewhere else that we can keep making more money.
Like books.
Like
books.
3D books.
3D books.
Those are always my favorite.
Didn't see that one coming. Personally, for me, without glasses, I kind of tip my hat to it. I'm like, all right, maybe there's some potential here, but really, do we actually need this right now? And I think that's going to be like the big question on every geek's mind is, do we really need this right now? Are we there?
Why not? The technology is there, so why don't we just implement it and see what we can get from it? It's the same like the touchscreen with the DS.
Well, that's our problem as a whole right now. It's like, we have it, but do we really need it?
No, I don't think we need it. I think, someone thought it was a good idea and then everyone was just jumping on the bandwagon. And I feel like, they say with box office numbers like, oh, this movie made this much money in 3D, but it's because they're kind of shoving it down your throat. And it's kind of like, well, we have to go see it in 3D because that's all they're offering right now. And so, of course, the box office numbers are going to go up because that's our only option.
Well, yeah, and when you're paying $4,000 a movie ticket for to see a 3D film, that does make sense.
Yeah, when it's double the ticket price, one sale ticket for a 3D movie is like 2 tickets for a normal
regular movie.
So, it feels like it's tipping the scale a little bit.
Well, I mean, with games, I think it ventures off into a new technology. I think it'll actually be better than actually having a movie experience, just because you're more so interactive, with games, and it gives you a bit of a sense of like reality almost. But you have like those lush environments that you can kind of grasp yourself inside the whole.
So instead of just like taking in an experience, you're actually interacting with the experience, is what you're saying.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense. Do I need the new Pokemon in 3D? No, I don't.
Well, do you want to be a Pokemon master or what?
Well, okay, I don't really think I need the new Pokemon, period. But
it's kind of like saying you don't need no strings attached in 3D. It's
Wow.
like
Natalie Portman in 3D, I do need.
I will not argue that point, but you don't need every game in 3D. Like,
right.
It's best when it's used subtly, I feel.
So I mean, with that, do you feel like Nintendo is just trying to cash in? I mean, they've tried to pull some innovative stuff before with 3D, i.e. Virtual Boy, which, there's no other way to explain it.
My eyes are still readjusting.
Yeah, I'm having acid flashbacks, and I haven't done acid because of the Virtual Boy. So
the only thing with like the Virtual Boy is it was ahead of its time. And if that be a true statement, now that we're ahead of that time, maybe it is the right time. I'm using the time too much.
I think what Nintendo is doing is smart in the fact that you have the sliding scale. So it's kind of like, if you want to play your game in 3D, here you go. But if it's making you dizzy, or if you're not really jumping on that bandwagon, you can switch it down to 2D and play the game exactly the same way. But you might want to take pictures in 3D, which the 3DS will also allow to do.
Oh.
Something fun, something for your family or for your kids or something like that. I think having that option with the 3DS is a smart idea, whether you want it or not.
But I think that'll lead to like movies where they are shot in 3D and they're intended for 3D, where you have people like poking at the screen. Look over there.
Throwing a knife, or, you know.
Yeah, but when you see it on TV, it looks completely stupid. Like that's like turning off the 3D on the 3DS. I feel like you'll see like a bug flying right in the screen, and it's just getting bigger. It's not.
I don't know. I don't
screen.
really feel like I've seen many games that try to throw it in your face like that anyway, unless you're playing something like House of the Dead or something like that, and it works in 2D that way, but I don't think that, it doesn't seem like the games are trying to like cash in on that gimmick, that whole like hokey in your face.
It's funny that you mentioned that, actually. I'm going to interrupt real fast. We have Sleeves in the chat room that said that he doesn't want to hear the word 3D anymore. He wants depth. And that's something I think we can all agree on, is that's where the direction that they're going in movies and in video games. It's just giving you more depth.
Yeah, the Samsung 3D TVs definitely have more depth to them as well. It's not the, you know, the crazy in-your-face old, like, Captain Neo, Michael Jackson 3D. The Samsung 3D TVs actually look really nice, and they're battery powered. And I don't know, I did a promotion for them, and I thought the picture and the quality was just, it just added a bold feel.
So you're saying you're a mole right now. You're a spy. You're
Oh,
here
no.
to advertise Samsung 3D TVs. Samsung,
Well,
we're
personally,
great.
I love Sam. I know.
Yeah.
Money.
She just made $4 million right now, sitting here. She said,
When I was at CES last year, Samsung was advertising these TVs that you could play and watch things in 3D with the glasses, but when you took the glasses off, everything was in 2D. So it wasn't just a screen; it was something about it that made it so you could use the glasses and have 3D, and take them off and just have regular 2D.
well, going into. Thank you. That was our director,
God.
Robert Spohr, our director, God,
Rob God.
Robert Spohr, our director. Going into the whole TV aspect of things, Sony's really pushing for sales. I mean, they're pushing for 3D games as well, big time, with the PlayStation 3. They're like, why don't you make it in 3D?
Right.
Do you feel like, at the same time, these companies are really just trying to cash in on what some feel is a fad, to make that extra dollar to sell more TVs, because not every TV is compatible with 3D.
That's actually a good point. We have Unruly that's saying, can I play 3D games on my TV? My TV still has knobs. So it kind of brings up, like, are they just trying to sell an extra dollar? Like, do we really need this right now? Like, some people are still trying to catch up with HD. Let alone
I don't even think
3D.
it's a matter of needing, it's a matter of wanting. And I do not want a 3D TV. I am totally fine with a TV this size, right in front of my bed, playing my games. If anything, I would want to experience a 3D game or a 3D movie every now and again. I don't need to go out and spend that much money to see it every damn day.
But I think I think there's enough people that watch 3D that will, you know, tend to go towards buying a TV screen just because they have TVs out there that kind of auto converts, you know, 2D imagery into 3D. So I mean, they can always turn it off and on. But you have TV shows like, you know, like maybe if you watch like the NFL, you know, like you're not at the game, but you can sure
feel
hope
like you're in the game.
Threw me a ball. Didn't he retire?
Well,
Yeah.
That's another show. So yeah, the one thing, like, they're doing a good job marketing it. They are making the transition a little more seamless. Like, yes, here, spend the extra money for your 3D television. Oh, but nothing's being aired in 3D. Well, that's okay. You can still watch it in 2D. So yeah, it's a smart step.
Still feels a little forced to me. I think they're just trying to sell TVs to people who already bought their LCD TVs.
I mean, and they're saying, they're projecting that in a few years there will be LCD 3D capable TVs.
Omega 392 is actually really adamant. He's saying 3D is now and always will be a gimmick.
See, yeah, I have Johnny Murda actually says 3D technology is a fad. We don't need it and really wouldn't care if it didn't exist.
And see, that's what's so strange is
Yes.
everyone that I speak to, including us, like no one really gives a crap about 3D. So it's like, what are these suits doing up in the corporate office saying we really need to give the audience 3D? I mean, it sounds like no one cares. And it sounds like no one cares.
It's definitely not like HD. Hint, hint, Nintendo. HD, even if we didn't have HD, there's a part of us on the inside that's saying, you know what, this could look better. I know as a gamer, this could be better. Mm-hmm. Again, Nintendo. Whereas with 3D, we had it, we got rid of it. We knew, hey, it was there, it was cool. We don't need it though. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm completely okay living my life knowing that it's there and I will never use it.